And we should now be live. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to make sure everything is working correctly. Appears to be. Hello, Nicholas. Hmm. We'll talk about the vacation in a little bit, Brenton, but it was definitely much needed. Let's put it like that. Hmm. Sorry, I'm still eating the ice cream I ordered during Evo stream. I'm doing okay, Chad. How about you? Good. Nice to hear. So I'm going to get started, and then we'll chat about the vacation in a bit. But off stream, I have completed the viewing bridge over the Amargasaurus enclosure, which I'm quite pleased with and quite happy with how it looks. There is also... There will be this version, which will be on the workshop for folks to use as they wish. But yeah, that's took a while to get the feel for it, figure out what I wanted to do with it, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I think it looks sorry, wrong one. I think it looks even better in the nighttime. Anyway, we do have some baby Amargasaurus, yes. I've deleted the nests to stop any more breeding because, as you can see, this enclosure has gotten pretty stuck full of animals. It's almost a little ridiculous. So what I've already done is I've kind of planned out the rest of how this area is going to look, and what we're going to work on today is this bit here, which is another enclosure which I want to do as a carnivore enclosure. So that's going to be the aim for today, although I do want to change this path here because it's not quite correctly angled. Hello, Colt. Sorry about last night, darting away like that. I probably should have told you I was waiting for someone to show up from work. So, these white areas, these are where there's just going to be guest stuff. There'll be guest zone stuff. And obviously on this plateau is going to be hotels and stuff anyway. So we're just going to deal with this enclosure today. And I do want it to be carnivorous, or carnivore enclosure, because, well, we don't have many carnivores at the moment. So I do think we want to make this one a small carnivore habitat. Although I'm not sure which carnivore to put in here, to be honest. I'm thinking not something too big is basically the thought. But I'm wondering, so there to just so I know what space I'm dealing with. I'm wondering what we can do with this carnivore enclosure to make it stand out, because I don't really want to just stick another flat enclosure in here. Obviously, the hotels, which are going to be up here, will overlook this. So we'll be able to do something with that, but make it a mountain. I don't think there's really space in here for a mountain, Chad. Like, it's got to fit in this space. Oh. Maybe we could, I don't know, do like a little... No. Sorry, I'm speaking to myself because I'm thinking it through. I'm actually thinking maybe we need to give it more space. So maybe... Because that area up there is just going to be one big enclosure anyway. So maybe it makes more sense to give it a bit more room. And that lets us... maybe play around with height a little bit. So maybe we... Everything okay with the stream? I'm seeing a lot of buffering. Streamlabs isn't reporting anything. Why did the weather just suddenly snap change like that? Computer, there is no weather events. Look, I said no weather events. Why won't it let me lower it down any further than that? What? Oh, right, yeah, because of the path, that's why. Okay. How difficult do we think it'll be to create a rocky cave to this? I really don't know what to do with this enclosure. I think Arizonosaurus is a really unique and interesting animal, actually. I mean, what I would want to do is if this was Planet Zoo, I would make this a half water, half land enclosure, and then have this path would be on the water side of the enclosure. But we can't do that with this game. We could layer stuff over this, but I think it would look ugly. So maybe we'll just do something that's a little bit more standard and just do just a different biome in this part. Hello, llamas. No worries. Definitely the weather for hot water bottles, that's for sure. I was kind of surprised how cold it was here today. Now I'm thinking what I might do is put if we're gonna have hotels here, maybe we could have like a raised area on top of some rocks that kind of stretches across. Which will be the best? That's a bit big. Okay, so about that tool. Be a little bit lower. I don't want massively tall ones in between. So what I'm thinking is that from this upper level, we'll have like a similar to what we've done over here. There'll be a bridge that goes across these rocks. And then we'll also have like a large viewing area that will look into what this enclosure will be over here. So, and then on this side, because The actual enclosure I want to be away from the path. So actually, deep water. Why? It doesn't have to be that big. Okay, fine. Normal water then. I wish we had Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster's water tool, because I feel like their water tool works so much better. Have I heard about Brachytrilopin? Well, I did mention it in my video on Amargasaurus. You did a lot of history revision on the Korean War, Norwayy. Interestingly, the Korean War is kind of one war that that over here in the UK doesn't get studied or taught, really. It gets mentioned as part of a wider Cold War unit, but that's about it. It's not really one of those that gets mentioned too often. Okay. What we're going to do, we'll put down some security fencing in there. But it won't be particularly tall. I want it to make use of glass. Probably... Maybe something like that. If I cut off... How tall is this? We kind of have it like there. It's kind of okay, but it needs to be taller, doesn't it? You've got 6 lessons of history left at school before next year. Not many lessons left. What about if I use that? I swear I'm missing some fencing. So we had this. It's a bit much, though. We're only going to have relatively small carnivores in here, so... Maybe this one. I want something that gives guests enough of a view. Yeah, that one. I think this one. Yeah. Okay. Stupid. That works. And then I'm thinking... what we'll do is we'll drop back to like a medium-sized path. Have we got a glass wall piece in here? Yes, I think this one. Okay. So we'll have one there. Then we'll do one here. Then the rest of this we're going to surround with rocks. We want something that's relatively thin kind of tool though. That'll work. Or rather, it would work if the shape was a bit better. Oh my, whoops. That was a little larger than I thought it would be. That's what she said. One there. And so you get like the idea is that you have this sort of special viewing area for them. Which I'm thinking I might make, like, do this on the other side and then top it with stone. So this is like one kind of cave, as it were, because these are fairly nice to use rocks. Yeah. That. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Hello, the dancing Dilo. Spicomelius would be an interesting addition. Okay. And then I also think what I might do is do a viewing dome in here, but use the lagoon dome trick that Evo has shown. I still want to have some glass, so glass panels, not those ones, this one. And just for the ease of making this enclosure, that should do. And that gives us somewhere to place down, guest areas, make a plaza, etc. And then what I'm going to continue to do is rock in this, so... and then do the same over here. Just add some texture to those rocks. That's a bit much. And then I think what I'll do over here is I will duplicate this. And we'll do the same thing here. Make sure this is on the ground. Duplicate. No, I'm fine, thank you. And then we'll just place some trees, basically, in here. In fact, will it allow me to place trees in here? Yeah. Oh, and then we need to wall off the front, which I think we will make use of these bad boys. Make sure they're on the ground. Oop. Duplicate. Turn it slightly. For the time being, that will be our enclosure. And like I say, we'll have the lift will be up here. There'll be hotels with their own external like balconies up here. We'll have the big viewing bridge, which will go all the way along here, over this path, through the tree line here, into this enclosure here. Yeah, that'll be this this enclosure. Now, I have to remember how. Oh, that's okay then. Standard viewing dome it is. Oh, maybe we'll do a viewing log instead. I'll think about that. Okay, water time. Naturally, the water brush is like 10 times the size it needs to be. No. No. I really don't like how the water brush tool works in relation to making waterfalls. I feel like it's a bit of a kind of improper, well, not improper, but imprecise, maybe is the better word for it. No. kind of what I wanted it to do. Does anyone like the water brush tool? Well, that is a good point. Chad, probably prehistoric parks. Triceratops for me. I like prehistoric planets, but it is, let's be fair, green and beige. And I'm so bored of seeing dinosaurs that are green or beige. Hello, Aiden. Hello, Jack. How do you like the new Jurassic Park ads? What new Jurassic Park ads? Ads for what? Have I missed something? It is possible. I have been away for a week, so I may have missed something. It's for Comcast. Oh, well, obviously I wouldn't have seen any ads since I'm in the UK and North America, so I wouldn't have seen them. Oh, hang on. I think I know the ones you're on about. The ones with Ian Malcolm and that lot. I think I am aware of the adverts you are referring to. I did actually watch them. Just because I was morbidly curious. And honestly, I thought they were one of the cringiest things I've ever seen. Yeah, I just thought it was terribly, terribly cringy, and just, yeah, nah. Also, what internet company decides that using Jurassic Park is a good way of advertising their company? Like, what are you saying about your company if you're using Jurassic Park as an advertising feature? That your company is run by naive fools who hire untrustworthy people who will inevitably release a bunch of murderous creatures to go and kill everyone? Is that really the sort of thing you want to be saying? I'm not sure it is. And doomed to be failed by hubris, exactly. I think the point was the incident wouldn't have happened with their internet. Yeah, right. I mean, if anything, with the way, I'm not in America, but some of the horror stories I've heard about American internet and American internet companies, it probably would have been more likely to happen with their internet. So... Okay. Happy with that. I think that looks alright. Actually, it probably makes sense for this to be groundwater, actually. It makes sense for this to be swampy down here. The cypress swamp is more watery than I imagined it would be. Is it me, or have they turned down the quantity of trees this thing creates? I swear when we first saw it, it was creating so many more trees than it was creating here. Like, come on. Trees. Why aren't you putting trees in here? Let's try that again, shall we? Like, I get not wanting to have a million trees there, but you gotta have a few. What I want to try and recreate with this is a kind of salt flat or ash field with swamp around it. That's kind of the aim here. And we'll have patches of vegetation around, but I want the vegetation to be kind of interspersed with this sort of salt flat-esque kind of thing. How do you get glass fence? I've made these glass fences. These I've just noticed what's happened to the ground. These glass fences are all my own build. In fact, I don't think I've used any of the base game fences. They're all the fences that I've constructed myself. These two sets, the wood post fencing and the wood log fences, are on the workshop already. The din style fencing is next to go up once I've made sure I'm happy with it. And then next I will be tackling some Jurassic Park style fence. Have we got a half size of that? We don't. I didn't build a half size of this one. A little annoying. Easily sorted though. If in doubt, stick a rock in it. There we go. These trees over here I want to swap out. I want a different woodland. That's way too tall. No, too much. Ah! Way too much tree. Happy with that. I think it looks alright. This tree might have to go, though. That's a bit nicer. Yeah, so we put a cave roof over the top of this. Somehow. I'll have to figure that one out. And then there'll be a bridge across here. This gives a view for those who are going to be in this guest area here. We'll do something similar to this little seating area, but not the same. But that'll be kind of along this edge here. And then we'll obviously have the hotels up here. Okay, what shall we put in there? What is going to be our... What is going to be our carnivore for in here? Let's go have a look. In the old din hatchery. It's quite a reasonably sized enclosure, so I think we can get away with having a reasonably big animal in it. Cerato, maybe. Carno, maybe. Concavernate, maybe Cryolopho. Good old Cryolopho. I could go for the fluffy Deinonychus. Or the Guanlong. Maybe Metri? Kinjal. Cerato and Carno are bigger than the Ostro. Not gonna have the Ostroraptor. I feel was just a less good Utahraptor. It's just too small. Plus, we've already got Irritator in the park, so I want a proper carnivore for in here. Maybe Majunga. I don't use Majunga. What does the male and female look like? Basically the same. Kind of disappointing. Wow, for Metri, they're basically identical. That is very disappointing. Compies can go to hell. We use Cryolopho. because I haven't used this guy since he came back to the game. So, Cryolopho, and let's have a look at the colors. I want something that kind of suits that ash field. I quite like that. That kind of... Maybe the off blue. I actually quite like that. We'll go with this one. This one for the males. And... you know what? I think the green looks spectacular on that. That's going to be our male. And our females will be...
we don't even have one.
we'll get white spots on the frill. So there's a little bit of mutual sexual selection going on. So there's our females. There's our males. I think that works. How many? A batch size of 3? One male, one female. One male, 2 females, I think. Because it's not exactly a massive enclosure, is it? And we'll obviously have a nest somewhere. Get some babbies. And then I think what we'll do is we'll get kind of started on thinking about what we put down here in this guest area. We'll have a look at these new buildings I have, or special buildings I have. We'll maybe have a look on the workshop, see if we can find something unique. Oh, I need to put the lift in as well. I guess also need to put these rocks in here, because this looks very ugly. Release via the old airlift.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Cryolophosaurus to the park.
A Cryolophosaurus. That would fit our style quite well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Cryolophosaurus to the park.
Oh god, I hate these menus. I really do. Somewhere in here should be a domed domed garden. I just bloody hate that menu. I really do. How big? No, I reckon with a few babies as well, I think this is reasonably sized. I frankly don't care if you're missing pasture, Cryolophosaurus, you'll be fine. I would say that's a medium animal. No valid dinosaurs. What? They count it as a large. They do. What the devil? Oh, give over.
He gets the kill.
It's nowhere near a large. This is not a large animal. Nowhere near. Okay. So really? What does it classify itself as then? Is it classified as a bathroom? No. It's none of these. Unless it's an innovation center. No. There it is. So we've got this very nice little greenhouse, which I do like, which I do want to put down somewhere. Shall we go and have a look? See if there's any other interesting buildings. You know, just random guest buildings. Scenery is probably the best one to look at it. Yeah, we just want some non-functioning buildings. Just something to
He's finished with you now.
fill up a bit of space. Not sure a crashed aircraft quite has the same je ne sais quoi to it. It's a nice bridge. Not what we're looking for, but it's a nice bridge. That's quite cool.
Oh, you think so?
Hmm.
See, I didn't
Tower.
need to do anything.
Wow. That's quite cool. Install that. Just because that's useful for doing Japanese park. what? What? Hey, what is this? Duck ride. I'm. I'm. I just want to see what that is. I'm just. I want to see what that is. Hmm. Interesting. Have a look at that.
I can only res.
Mm.
I'm trying my best. I have no mana because someone just got everyone killed.
Nice little bridge. Just want something to put in the middle of that. guest area, a building of some sort. No, I do not like Jesus as my savior. In fact, I'm
I got snapshotted by that, by the way.
huh, kind of interesting. In fact, I am very anti-religion in general.
You have no healers.
If a magic genie came up to me and gave me a wish tomorrow, the very first thing I would do is wish for all religion to be abolished. Just gone. Remove it entirely from human existence because it causes so much trouble.
Okay, so Rise, what are we learning?
Ooh,
Do not kill Alfie whenever I have 0 mana.
yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm thinking. I like that.
I think you need to learn how to look. Rice? Rice. Honey. I'm blind and I could still see Alfie better than you did.
I agree with you, Berenson. Religion is a very sensitive topic. But personally, I think it's more. It does more harm than it does us good. We'll go up to page 50. Ooh, what's another one? Let's have a look at that one. We'll go up to page 50, and then we will go have a look in our. Go have a look at the things we downloaded in the park.
As I said last time, Casey, I don't need to do anything. I know I'm colorblind, Casey, but it's for symbols.
You know what I would love to see is like a is like a proper playground, like a children's playground. But you know, the problem being we obviously don't have children, but how big is this? It looks like it's going to be fairly large. How cool is that?
They have symbols in them. They have different symbols in them.
It's definitely got to go near our Amargasaurus enclosure. That's really interesting. No, let it not be said that modular building certainly enabled quite a lot of creativity from a lot of people. Oh, that's really cool. I'll grab that. Hmm. This might be useful somewhere.
Go to the back.
Okay. Let's go have a look then. This is where we have to look for the stuff that we just downloaded. Annoyingly. That's really cool. I quite like that. I think it's got quite a funky shape going on with that. I'll get rid of some of the signage. I think some of these banners can go. I don't think it needs that much. You know, I don't think it needs that many banners. I think you can get rid of them and then put some path under that, and that would look good. Okay, and it's grouped together as well, which is such a rarity. So yeah, we'll definitely keep that. Oh, that looks so cool. Needs to change the vegetation. That looks really fun. I like that. He's actually got a really good Amargasaurus. I even kind of like the use of the rock. I have to, yeah, get rid of some of this the palm tree foliage because the palm trees don't really work with the environment. But that's really nice. I like that. Okay. Let's have a look at this maze. Oh, the maze is actually not too big. They could definitely fill a space up here somewhere, I think. And it's grouped together as well. Wow. Nice to see people learning. That's interesting. Simple. It needs another set of wood in the middle of that circle, just so it looks like it's got support. But apart from that, it's nice, sweet. I really like this though. I'm thinking that that could definitely work in here somewhere. Not the right habitat, but again, that's this will look nice in the Japan park. It's an interesting design. Yeah, interesting. Again, not quite for this park, but that's an interesting. What on earth is this? Okay, let's have a look at this. What is this? Wow. I mean, there isn't much I can say about that. This is outstanding. I know exactly where I would put this. That's going in my Las Vegas park. That right there says Las Vegas. Here's the little ritualistic temple, which is nice. Cute little temple. And was that it? I think that was everything. I thought there was a few other things. Hang on, let me check. Let me check my installs. It's actually just worthwhile having a look, see if there's any Oh yeah, there was this the botanical gardens. Hang on. Where's that then? Okay, this is what we'll have. How big is it? Okay, I'm thinking. Okay. let's shift this. Oh dear, someone's not grouped everything together correctly. Okay. Okay, so I'm thinking if we have this at an angle kind of here. Where is the entrance to this? Hang on, what? That would have people walking through. He hasn't thought about. Oh, that's disappointing.
Normal mechanics.
Yeah, no, not happy. Not happy with that. So we will go with this one.
Metal in the sleeves.
Um, have
I
it
don't know what
like roughly center.
Mm-hmm.
We'll also have down in there this lovely little seating area. Big question is,
How does this go run in these hills?
can I descend this enough? Okay, that's too much. Too much. That's smooth. No. Because that just smooths it flat. How would you? How are you supposed to dig this into the ground without it looking? Very, very carefully, I think is the way.
We are pleased to welcome a Cryolophosaurus to the park.
They've had babies. I think the only way to do it is you just have to be quite lucky. Unfortunately, at the moment, I am not getting the benefit of the luck. It's a nice structure, but unfortunately, again, we're let down by the terrain tools, which makes it very tricky. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Sorry, I am trying to keep an eye on chat, but obviously building does take up... And I think 2 males and 2 females makes sense for you, Raptor. Did I put in the lift? Did he not call it lift? Elevator? He did. Now, the plan is to then have a lift shaft connecting those 2 floors. But I'm thinking, to be honest, as much as I love this glass lift, I don't think it has to be that complicated. It only has to be a fake one. So it only just has to look like wood around the outside, maybe some glass. Try and mimic this style or something like that. Do we have... That's a bit big. Oh, I'm thinking we could have like the shop hanging off the back here. Then technically, if you go out the back of the shop, you can peer over the fence to the Cryolophosaurus. Since we're not building a plaza, which is what I did down there, What shall we do pathwise? What have we done over here? Oh, over here we've just laid lots of brick. I guess we can lay lots of brick here. It's just a little boring, but... switch to...
Oh.
Oh, can't get in there to do the See, this is something I would suggest people check if they're gonna do like a structure like this. Is they need to check that you can actually fit paths in it. Because if you can't fit the path in, just about manage that. Safety first. Okay. Thinking we're not going to fill up the entire space with plaza. I do want to kind of leave some bits empty. See, what I would love to have is a kind of mock river or something. But I don't know how you would create that. You'd have to build everything slightly above ground level. But then some things you can't build like that. Like the shops and stuff have to be on ground level. So you'd actually have to dig out part of the scenery and then line it with the fountain pieces. Hmm. Yeah, Jack, the weather in sandbox maps are... it's pretty broken at the moment. Okay. Let's... Okay, I'm happy with the shop being there. And the lift, elevator, whatever you want to call it, will be there. Now, how far would I have to lower it? I mean, I don't even think we'd need two contour lines. I think one. One contour line will do. Gives us a nice sort of shallow little area. And if we combine it to this... Okay. Now, it doesn't have to be that wide. I want it kind of narrow. Put in an area where we'll put a pretend bridge. Okay. It's annoying. It's still annoying to me that this water isn't very deep, but it's the best we've got. Maybe it needs to be a little lower down so that we can have the fountains and rockwork around the outside. This is going to require a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Cryolophosaurus to the park.
Do I even need to briefly place them?
Doesn't matter if there's some rough edges, because we'll cover those with rocks. I wish these pieces were a deeper variety. But obviously, we have to make do with what we have. So something like that, and then what I'm thinking, this is just testing the concept right now. Way too big. And then what we'll just basically do is...
How did I die?
just something like that to give it an edge. And then we can put fountains and stuff in here. We can have a bridge over. We'll have a little... It's a land bridge, but we can cover it up with like a mock bridge. We'll put like some proper rocks here and some fountains to make it look like water is leaving here and entering here. We'll change the color of the sediments so it all looks a nicer color. I think that would work. And we can still have the greenhouse thing. We can still have the below ground theater. We can have the elevator shaft there. Just makes this look a little bit more interesting. I think I might make it look a little bit more narrow, because I think that's too wide, personally. I think we're wasting a lot of space and piece count there. So I might make it less wide than that, but I think that looks interesting. That'll be an off-stream project. The next thing, obviously, and also covering this with rocks, will be an off-stream project. Not sure which rock to actually use with this. This is... It'll probably be that one. Something like it. I mean, hell, I might just create a flat surface on top of here and cover it with rock. And then we could do some, we can do like a display in here of something. I think we have enough Cryolopho babies. Given how many are wandering around right now. How many babies? There's quite a few babies in there. I'm reasonably happy with that. And then obviously we'll have like guest stuff here. We'll rockery that in. Because then immediately on the other side we're going to have this massive enclosure, which is more or less going to be left as it is, but I'm thinking this will be like a sauropod enclosure with maybe at this far end we'll do like a natural cutoff, and we'll have like acro or something in here. And then the maze, like, I really like that maze. I think the maze we'll put in here somewhere with the hotel area. Oh yeah, this park is coming along, but there's a lot more work to do on it. Anyway, it is now 11 o'clock, so I am going to head off. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already, and to subscribe if you're new. I am aiming to get a video out next week about the holiday me and Dane just took, just for those interested. And Fallout has recorded his U-boat playthrough, so I'll be working on that too. But it might just be a bit delayed, obviously, because of the holiday. But yeah, I will do what I can editing-wise. And yeah, well, until next time, folks, I hope you all stay safe, enjoy the rest of your Sunday nights, and goodbye.